Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Benjamin, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different for 2020 prediction. And that's going to be, and actually I should open up a new tab on this. There we go. We'll go to that later. And what we're going to look at is why the Republicans should be optimistic for 2020. Next week, we're going to look at why the Democrats should be optimistic for 2020. Week after that, we'll talk about why the Republicans should not be optimistic for 2020. And then, of course, why we should also cover why the Democrats should not be optimistic for 2020. Now, that's because there are different things I want to talk about. So here is the Morning Consult tracking poll. And this is for July. We'll find out their August numbers in a couple of weeks' time. Okay. So this is the net approval map. As we can see, any state that's in green, he's more approved than disapproved, and in any state that's in any of the reds, he's more disapproved than approved. And you can even see it slide up here. But why do I bring this map up? Well, Republicans should be optimistic because generally a president will improve, will do better, can win, and probably will win any state where they are either above water or underwater by 10 or less %. So let's actually see, are there any states where that's true? So every state in this map, we're going to go ahead and go with a blank map, and I believe I've shown this one before. So let's go through any state that's in green. We're going to go ahead and highlight, so that would be Idaho, Montana, North Dakota, Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, Tennessee, Missouri, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, and Alaska. And yeah, I just wanted to check that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and highlight those states. And actually, go with the blank map. And I'm just going to use two colors just to make it easy on us. And did I say Florida? Yeah, Florida. Okay. And Alaska. So let's go back to this. Now let's include any of the neutral states, states that are split evenly. So that's North Carolina and Arizona. This already puts them at 229 electoral votes. Now we're going to go to any state that he is less than 10 points underwater in. We'll go ahead and highlight those. Utah, Nevada, and less than or equals to 10. Colorado. Now, I'm not saying he will win these, but historically that has been the trend. Iowa, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia. It already puts him at more than he got in 2016. Let's see. Maine fits into that category. And again, I'm just going to highlight the entire state. I'm not going to bother with any of the split electoral votes for the purposes of this video. Now, of course, any state that he is greater than 10 points underwater in, I'm obviously going to highlight for the Democrats. And again, obviously what we see is that, is that Trump is winning. Okay, this is a reason for the Republicans to be optimistic. And yes, while he is unpopular, this isn't that much less popular than Obama was. And remember, this shows his approval rating in all polls, the average of all polls here. So, on this day, we see that Trump is broadly, he's about 4 points, but remember, likely and registered voters, which I tend to trust a little bit more, it narrows it a little bit whenever it's a Democrat. So, just be aware, he's almost as popular as Bill Clinton was at this time. He's a little bit less popular than Jimmy Carter. He's less popular than Ford. He's less popular than Nixon. Definitely, and of course, anyone after that, he is much less popular than, except for Harry Truman. If we go to Harry Truman, we find out he's much more popular than Truman. And Truman won re-election. Now, let's look at the disapproval rating. Find out, yeah, Trump's not that much more disapproved of than Obama. But he is more disapproved of than just about anyone else. And that includes Truman. So yes, Trump is the most disapproved of president in recent times. Yeah, look at Bush. Okay. And actually, let's extend this. Let's not just show his current. Let's show after let's show one full term. So we can see George Bush actually dipped about there. Bill Clinton then became more popular. H.W. became less popular and more popular. Reagan kind of did almost something similar to Trump. Started off kind of dipped a little bit and then became more popular as time went on. Jimmy Carter just became less popular over time with a brief spurt of regaining popularity. Ford was never popular. Nixon really took a nosedive at the end. Lyndon Baines Johnson eventually took a nosedive. JFK, well, he was always popular. Eisenhower was never unpopular. And Harry Truman bounced around like a crazy person. So let's extend it to 8 years. Actually, let's look at the disapproval rating. Okay? And I don't think Trump's ever going to either improve or disprove his disapproval numbers by a significant margin, which means he'll basically be a little bit more disapproved of than Obama. And his numbers will probably match some of the unpopular presidents at the end, especially the one-termers. And let's go to 8 years. And you'll see, yeah, something similar. And of course, the approval rating, as we can tell, if we're completely honest, Trump is probably going to remain, at some point he will cross W's line, and then he'll be around here. Truman, he'll probably finish more popular than Truman. Definitely more popular than Nixon. But let's look at net approval, because this also matters. And let's shrink it down to the current. You'll see, yeah, generally presidents become less popular over time. And this kind of shows you the effect. Again, you can look at this and look at it over time and realize that he's not doing that bad. His numbers are probably more consistent than every other president. other than maybe Obama, who had a consistent decline in his approval rating throughout this first period. You know, Trump's numbers are just consistent. But here's something else I noticed. If you look here, yeah, he becomes unpopular and then really unpopular. And it kind of plateaus for a little bit. And then it jumps, and then it kind of declines a tiny bit, but then it jumps and it plateaus again with some decline. And then it jumps again, and then it plateaus with a little bit of decline. We could reasonably expect there to possibly be another jump, or it could just continue to plateau and not go anywhere. And let's look at states that we're going to go ahead and go back to a blank map. I'm going to highlight any state that for the Democrats was less than 5% win, and any state that was a less than 5% win for Trump, right? And I'm going to focus mostly on the at-large. So that's 4 states that Democrats won by less than 5%. Now for the states that Trump won by less than 5%. You may say, why am I highlighting this saying this is reason to be optimistic? And here's why this is something for Republicans to be optimistic about. They're winning close races, meaning they're winning the competitive races. Sure, Democrats dominate in races where the seats are mostly safe, with Republicans picking up a lot of smaller states that are very safe for them, with, of course, the exception being Texas. But it shows that when things are competitive, Republicans seem to have better messaging. At least they did in 2016. Which means there is definitely potential to flip states like Minnesota and Colorado. Oh yeah, well, and Nevada and Maine. Now, yes, it is possible for the Democrats to pick up states they lost by less than 5%. But Republicans are going to be in a much better position to play offense than the Democrats will. The Democrats are forced to play offense, number one. But the Republicans, they can sit back and play defense if they want to. You know, Trump could say, okay, well, we're going to focus on Wisconsin, North Carolina, Florida, and Arizona, and playing reasonably safe, protecting the rest of the states we won in 2016, we can let these 2 states flip. Because guess what? In the states that we won in 2016, we're more than able to win the election if we add in Florida, North Carolina, Wisconsin, and Arizona. Especially if we're able to get this vote in Maine. That's all they need to do. If they really want, they could even say, we'll try and play a little bit of offense and say Nevada. Or try and improve in Maine and try and win the statewide vote. But they don't have to. All they have to do is protect the 2nd district in Maine, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Florida, and Arizona. That's 4 states in 1 district that they have to play defense in order to secure the election. However, I think Trump is probably going to play offense. He's going to play for Nevada. He's going to play for Colorado. He's going to play for Minnesota, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Virginia, New Hampshire. I expect him to try and play for New Mexico. If he was able to pull this off, that'd be 355 electoral votes. I don't think he's going to win it all, but, you know, he could. And I don't think it's unrealistic to think that he may have ambitions of getting 400 electoral votes. Now, to do that, he would need to play offense in a lot of states that I don't think he's going to have a chance to win, but he could do it. He could try to play for 400. That's all he would need to do, is expand his ambitions by 3 states from the traditional slate of swing states. Or if he was really optimistic, play for California, but that's not going to happen. So the point I'm trying to make here is Donald Trump and the Republicans are in a surprisingly good position. And of course, you have the normal incumbency bias and among other things. You know, yes, he's underwater in terms of approval rating. That we're not denying that. Sure, he's not popular in California. He's definitely not popular in Washington or Oregon or Illinois or New York or Vermont or Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Maryland, District, Hawaii. But Republicans don't need those states. They need the heartland, Florida, North Carolina, and the Rust Belt. And if they can play a little bit of offense, that's just icing on the cake for them. Anyway, I'm going to see you guys next time. Take it easy, and remember, next week we're going to talk about why the Democrats can be optimistic about 2020 as well. Take it easy. Bye.